What sort of modern food, meaning not shortbread, haggis, or other traditional foods, is uniquely or distinctly Scottish?
Deep fried Mars bars.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yep. Yep.
Munchie boxes.
Yeah. Yeah. What's distinct? Indian food. It's
The most Scottish of Indian foods.
Yeah.
Curry.
Yeah. Lamb curry, man. It's all about
Yeah,
curry. That's
it's-
not, but that's the whole UK, not just Scotland. But.
Yeah. There's a lot of Indian influence, and they have like takeaway curry, takeaway Indian food in the same way that Americans have Chinese food takeout. It's a different culture, but it just works, and they love it. In the same way that people in Boston love Dunkin' Donuts for some ungodly reason. It's a regional thing. But the deep fried Mars bar and munchie boxes, those are the two I'm going with.
Yeah. Fried fish it's not really modern. But,
It's also English, fish and chips.
Yeah, fish and chips really came about with the Industrial Revolution, and a lot of the people who are actually, it's funny because a lot of people who are actually taking the herring, or the haddock, I forget which fish it is. I think it was herring.
Haddock would be the bigger cuts.
Yeah.
Herring's the little guy.
Yeah, so it's not herring I'm thinking of. I'm confusing with my own heritage.
Gefilte fish.
Yeah. Basically, they came down from Scotland to the fishing towns on the coast to work in the fish processing plants. So they were some of like the very first people who were involved with making fish and chips a mass food, interestingly enough. And then it was a result of the rail system in Britain that it became popular because they caught the fish, processed the fish on the coast, and they could transport it by rail. So it's kind of a weird fusion of Scottish and English Victorian culture. So I'd say that's a very people's food. It was definitely a working class food for years, and it still is. Yeah, I mean, but really super modern. I mean, that's still 150 years old I'm talking about, but super duper modern, then fried candy bars.
The one thing that's kind of always weirded me out about fish and chips, why do they serve it in newspaper sometimes?
Because newspaper was plentiful and it absorbed the grease.
But isn't it, like, dirty? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's the 19th century, dude. You don't care about that.
Fair.
It was
I don't know.
seriously, it was cheap. It was you had lots of newsprint sitting around.
So, is it like Silly Putty where you get the advertisement on the?
I've
the one
never
side?
had that happen. I've never had that happen. But I've always wondered that too. Like how much ink are you ingesting if you have traditional fish and travel fish and chips?
Does newspaper does the newspaper imbue a certain smell or
je ne sais
taste
quoi?
to the fish?
I don't think so.
It has a
Personally,
certain smell. Newspaper has like a certain smell to it.
but there is a. It does feel better to have a newspaper. I don't know what I mean by that.
I
It's just
guess the last time I had it, it was just in newsprint. It wasn't actual
Right.
newspaper. It
Yeah.
was just a newsprint.
well, especially nowadays because you have fast food places and they're taking paper off a roll. It's not like actual newspapers.
And
but,
yeah, because I mean, look how much newspapers actually being made now.
Right.
It's all online. for the
right. But
most
again,
part.
the newspapers, it's that whole industrial culture in Britain that brought the two together because I gotta sell you this stuff. I gotta give you something to take it away in. I got lots of scrap paper here. Here's your food. It just I don't know. It just feels legit. It's
Okay. I know it's a thing.
and
I'm
it
just
definitely helps
questioning why
absorb.
it's a thing.
It does help absorb the grease, so it is handy from that standpoint.
Okay. Here's a
Now
random.
I'm hungry, man. Now
Here's
I
a-
want fish and chips.
Here's a random thought hypothesis: was it pre-recycling? So they weren't recycling the newspaper, therefore they
Right.
had to get rid of it
There was no-
anyway.
there was
So the
no
newspaper
recycling.
companies are like,
There's no recycling in the 19th century.
That's my point. So you just kind of like, you can have it because we're going to throw it out
Right.
anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the paper plates of the time.
Indeed.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's their recycling.
I mean, munchie boxes, for those who don't know, is basically a bunch of junk food served in a pizza box. The name comes from, it's definitely 420 culture originally, but it's basically that you could get these even after hours, late into the night, or 24/7 from fast food places, especially because they got all this excess fried food left over at the end of the night, and they'd sell it cheap. Okay, so it's like 2 a.m, and you and your mates need something to eat. You go and get a munchie box, and now it's become a thing. They have themed munchie boxes. They have breakfast munchie boxes. the calorie count on them is astronomical, like 10,000 calories
think?
per box. Yeah, but it's about as Scottish as you can get because it's consuming mass quantities of fried food, and you get a little bit of everything, and it's kind of awesome. But it's not a single food, but I think it qualifies as a modern expression of Scottish street cuisine, shall we say?
Fair point.
Yeah.
For the pothead brethren. Yes.
I think the other, but gourmet cuisine, their desserts have been a big thing. Like what is it? Drunken Laird, Tipsy Laird. There are these custard desserts and stuff that they do.
You're above my head now.
Yeah, that's. I'd say look at the desserts if you want what's considered like the high art of Scottish cuisine now. Is that they do a lot of stuff with traditional desserts and putting twists on them, make them fancy.
Yeah, I'm bland. I'm burger and fries or chips, if you will.
Like Tipsy Laird, banoffee, stuff like that.
Very good.
I'm so hungry now.
Now we do have someone saying that the originally it was wrapped in newspaper, but they potentially sometimes would have an inner layer of a white paper.
Okay.
So
That
for
makes sense.
the hygiene.
Okay.
So depending on where you got the newspaper.
Yeah, you
you
can
know,
read
the
the
Daily
news.
Record.
Yeah.
The Daily Record, as someone said, may have the best flavored ink out there.
There you go. Just enough lead.
Yeah.
Yes, cherry flavored newspaper.